Good morning, Tea Tribe, and welcome to the Morning Tea. I'm your girl, Alex Schiffman, and joining me is my co-host, the wonderful Courtney Revolution. What's going on, Court?
Good morning, Alex. Hello, Tea Tribe. I am Courtney Revolution, and welcome to Tequila. Wait, it's not Tequila. It's what Wesley say? Wednesday. Good morning, Wesley.
Hey.
How are you, Alex?
In work and home life, it could be Tequila Tuesday every day. You know what I mean?
Girl,
don't worry about it.
You know what it is? I never took the tequila bottle back to my freezer, and I was looking at it, and that's what triggered my lobe to say
As
that.
you shouldn't. As you shouldn't. So, speaking of Tequila Tuesday, how was your Tuesday evening, Courtney?
Oh my God. Alex, I have to tell you, I am almost caught up with my boyfriend watching Married to Medicine. If you guys know, I've been watching Married to Medicine. Love it on Bravo. But I purchased the older seasons, kind of an older show. I purchased the older seasons on Bravo. And it's been really good. You know, I enjoy watching relationship things with him. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like see how they navigate their relationship. It's interesting because we just kind of do our own thing. So shout out to the cast of Married to Medicine. What about you? What you did, girl?
I completely understand that and relate to that. It's fun watching relationship type, either reality shows or scripted stuff with a significant other because you're just staring at them like, do you do that? Are you going to do that? You know what I mean?
You bet not ever.
Where's my roses? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like every second. It's really, really good. But speaking of romance shows, reality shows, T-Tribe, get excited because Mr. Corey Lay will be on the show tomorrow talking all about HBO Max's new holiday dating show, 12 Dates of Christmas. Courtney, I know you're very excited about this. I'm going to binge watch all of it tonight before he's on the show because I need to be in the know. But are you excited to have Corey on the show tomorrow?
Alex, words cannot express how excited I am to have Corey on the show. If you guys have not seen 12 Dates of Christmas and you watch it, you will understand my excitement. I feel like Corey brought a lot to the show. The show was already good on its own, but I really feel like the casting decision on Corey was just excellent. He's a guy that really wears his heart on his sleeve. He's emotional. He's funny. He's a personal trainer. So he's got that body eye and the stallion beaching us. So I'd be a good one. Don't miss that.
I'm super excited. I checked out the trailer and I saw Corey featured in it and he gets very emotional at this one part. So I need to binge watch it all tonight so I can see that actual moment play out as it showed in the trailer. He seems amazing. So T-Tribe, make sure you check out the show tomorrow because that's going to be a fun one for sure. And while we're talking about that, let me break down what we have on the show today because we're starting off with some Selling Sunset drama. This is some funny news. If you're a fan of The Hills, this will be good for you. Plus, Tyga is launching a new OnlyFans venture. This is pretty interesting. We're going to tell you all about that. Then Ashley Tisdale is talking about High School Musical and whether or not there's going to be any more reunions in the works. So make sure to stick around for that. Then Selena Gomez admitting she can't stop watching Selena, the series on Netflix. So we'll tell you about that. Then Taylor Swift is giving fans an inside look at what inspired her most recent album, Folklore. So we've learned a little bit about the inspiration behind it, but there's even more. It's the gift that keeps on giving. We're also talking about new projects from Ariana Grande, Victoria Justice's return to music. This is pretty cool. And then Chance the Rapper's new Christmas album that we didn't even know we needed, but now we need it. And then behind the Kar Jenner gates, Kim K is meeting with the LA District Attorney about prison reform. Kim the lawyer is back and we love to see it. And then Khloe is opening up about keeping up with the Kardashians moments that she regrets the most. It'll be interesting for you to hear what she actually talks about. And then finally, our OMT story of the day. We're talking all about Sofia Richie coming to Olivia Jade's defense following her Red Table Talk appearance. So Courtney and I will speculate all about that and more. Stick around so you don't miss anything because this is some good tea on this What Wesley Say Wednesday, right, Courtney?
Oh, yes, ma'am. The docket is sounding real good today. We're going to get down to it, and I'm ready.
All right. Well, pour up that hot water. Let's get into it, Courtney, and let's cheers to all of our You Missed It stories because there's so much that you miss. But don't worry. We handle it all for you. Cheers, Courtney.
Cheers. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Shout out to Keisha, says she saw the whole trailer for the Colonel Sanders, the Lifetime movie with Mario Lopez. It's hilarious. Tell us.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. Let's get into our You Missed It stories. And as I just mentioned, these are all the stories you may have missed overnight. Don't worry, Courtney and I handle all the trending tea for you. First up, we're talking about Tarek El Moussa, who's not taking what Christine Quinn is saying about him and fiance Heather Ray Young very well. So speaking to Amanda Hirsch on her podcast, Not Skinny But Not Fat, love that title, Tarek opened up about how Heather's Selling Sunset co-stars words have impacted the couple. So Tarek said of Christine, quote, "Christine has a big mouth. She said some shitty things about us, and that's about it. We're not really interested in dealing with her nonsense. Listen, just because she's never been famous before and she doesn't know how it works, she doesn't have to talk. It just makes her look stupid." So she was trying to claim that. You know, we're out there calling paparazzi on ourselves. I'm sorry. I've been on TV for 10 years. Love that. Now, these harsh words come after Christine recently came for Tarek and Heather, comparing them to The Hills' infamous couple, Heidi and Spencer. Christine said this, quote, "It's really funny to see Heather's relationship play out because her and her boyfriend have such an interesting dynamic. I call them Spidey all the time because it's like articles all the time about baking cookies, you know, watching movies. It's ridiculous. So, you know, you're going to see the girls and I just get so tired of it." So, Courtney and T-Tribe, what do you make of all this drama between Tarek, Heather, and Christine?
Okay, so for those of you guys that may have not seen Selling Sunset, let's break it down real quick. So let's get our players together. So Heather and Tarek are together. Tarek did the home show, Flipping Out, right? Something like that, something for the house. And then Christine is sort of like, and I guess if you watch the show just on a basic level, you kind of view Christine as sort of like a villainous character, but I feel like she's just very opinionated. She's very strong-minded, a little dramatic. I prefer to say theatrical. And she's always got a good outfit. I get what she means about the comparison potential in terms of Tarek and Heather always being in the news, because if you remember back when The Hills was really important to us in pop culture, right. You couldn't escape Spidey. You couldn't escape Heidi and Spencer at all. But from a viewer's perspective, I don't look at Heather as being villainous or evil or annoying, even, I would say. I just think she's somebody that really loves her man. And although I love you, Christine, who could be mad at that, girl? And you know I love you, Christine. But I want to know, Alex, how you feel about people commenting on your relationship? Because I don't like people talking about my relationship. That's why nobody really knows about it like that on social media, because people are nosy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, you know, it's not right to get involved in other people's relationship. It's none of her business. This just kind of stems as jealousy, wherever it's coming from. Obviously, there's something not right between them. Tarek did Flip or Flop, not Flipping Out. That's Jeff Lewis. That's a Bravo show.
My bad. You know I love me some Bravo.
But anyway, I think that it's a big statement to compare them to Spidey because, of course, if you are a Hills fan, like you said, Courtney, they were not well liked by anyone. So to compare them is a strong statement. But I love that Tarek was like, I've been on TV for 10 years, so sit down, child. You know what I mean?
He tried to let Christine know what time it was, girl. He said, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this, man.
Exactly. Well, speaking of what time it is, it's time for some management time. And Tyga is diving further into OnlyFans than we previously thought, Courtney. Yes, that's right. The rapper joined the subscription site back in September, But apparently, he also founded a management company at the same time called Too Raw, with two W's. Tyga is just now unveiling his OnlyFans management company, seeking to represent and help new creators gain success and notoriety on the platform. So Too Raw just started to post to its Instagram account recently, and it looks to be a leader in the space. OnlyFans has been really exploding in popularity this year as more and more celebs have joined the site. Already there are names such as Black China, Amber Rose, Bella Thorne, Chris Brown, Cardi B, Trey Songz, Michael B. Jordan, and Jordan Woods. So a lot of, celebrities on there, to name a few. What do you think of Tyga's latest venture, Courtney and T-Tribe? And would you join Too Raw?
Well, I don't know if I would be joining Too Raw, girl. I don't think I'm raw enough for that, girl, with the two W's. But I think that it's a great idea, truthfully. YouTubers, influencers, celebrities, they all have management. And at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if, we kind of already do. We have like these micro OnlyFans influencers, creators, whatever you want to call them. And I think that we'll get to a place where some shirtless guy on your Twitter timeline is actually considered an OnlyFans celebrity. Like, you know how we have like celebrity YouTubers like the Liza I would consider a celebrity, creator, influencer, what have you. I think we'll get into that space with the OnlyFans arena as well. And Tyga is very smart. And I'm not mad at him for always thinking about the money, because there's money in that, Alex. There's money. Sex really does sell. Truly.
Yeah, I kind of think like Tyga is ahead of the game on this venture, because this has happened with every new kind of social media platform. Vine had its specific management that only represented Vine stars. Now TikTok has the same thing. All the Hype House, the Sway Boys, like they're all under, don't quote me on that, but a lot of these same TikTok stars are under the same management, and people see kind of the opportunity very quickly, and they end up, gaining a lot of success and money from seeing that. So I think this is just another example of that. And I do think that Tyga will give, opportunity to those that haven't necessarily been noticed on the platform, but are, talented in their own way. And I think this is cool on his part.
And what about people that lost their 9 to 5, Alex, and OnlyFans was the side gig, right? Imagine you were working at wherever, office building, whatever. You can't come to the office. We can't go to the office, right? And your OnlyFans, your secret OnlyFans account where you don't show your only side hustle, and you lost your job, and now Tyga's granting you the need to make a little bit more. I need 9 to 5. It's an opportunity. Right. I look at it as.
Yeah, I think that some people will criticize this, saying that it can get a little messy. There is the other side to it, but we hope that it's done professionally and he doesn't, make any problems, because that would be.
I wouldn't call Tyga a pimp, Lady T-Joy. Lady T-Joy says, so he wants to be a pimp, basically. I feel like if Tyga's a pimp, then everybody manager is a pimp. Everybody manager is a pimp then, if Tyga's a pimp, because he's not doing anything that's different than Jordan Warona that was repping Tana Mojo, or any of the other creator managers that rep, our big influencers. I wouldn't look at Tyga. It's legal and professional.
Yeah, let's also reiterate the fact, Courtney, I think you've said this before on the show, that OnlyFans, some people have accounts that just to post exclusive content, and it's it doesn't kind of go over the line.
It doesn't have to be about sex.
Right. So let's just, reiterate that statement. But moving on to some lighter news. We're talking about actually Disney stuff. What a way to transition from Tyga and OnlyFans to Ashley Tisdale and High School Musical, because she seems to be ready to move past it. Opening up to E! News in anticipation of the High School Musical 15th anniversary, Ashley spoke about her feelings about the now iconic franchise. So she said of the anniversary, quote, "I've honestly lost track because every single year there's an anniversary for one of those movies. I expect that every year there's going to be another. It's just kind of crazy. I feel like we celebrate it every single year almost at this point. Now, there does seem to be a lot of get-togethers and anniversaries surrounding the cult phenomenon. Ashley went on to say that while she was happy that the cast could get together for the 10-year reunion, don't expect a whole lot more in the future. So she said this, quote, "We all did get together, but I don't see us getting together again. It's really awesome, obviously, and it's so sweet that everybody likes to count each other for all 3 of the films. For us, there's always an anniversary." So Courtney and T-Tribe, do you think Ashley is just a little burnt out with how much High School Musical has been a part of her life? Or do you think that, you know, just life goes on, and as time moves on, it's just, you know, there's no time in people's schedules to have these reunions?
Alex, can we make it clear that prostitution and legal adult content for sale are not the same thing?
Yes.
Do you agree? It's not the same thing, correct?
I agree.
Okay, now, Ashley Tisdale, girl, I wish that she would have just leaned into the High School Musical thing after it was over, because I feel like it would have helped her career a little bit more, if that makes sense. Because, you know, Ashley Tisdale has not, like, stopped trying to act or, like, stopped. But I am excited for her to, you know, have a child and do whatever she's going to continue to do. But I want good for her, and I want her to be, if she's not going to be a megastar again, I want her to be someone that people younger than us recognize, Alex, you know, because I feel like Ashley Tisdale still has it.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, there comes a time in everyone's life and career where something that kind of made them a star, it's natural, it's human for them to kind of want to move on from that. Not to, you know, lessen the importance of it or the impact it's had on their lives, but I do think that they've had their reunions, and I'm sure they'll have their 20-year reunion, but to have one, you know, every year, it is a little much. Also, they're all in different places of the world. You know, Zach is in Australia, getting married probably soon, and, you know, they're all in different times in their lives, careers, and so I totally understand it. I don't think it's necessarily shade. I just think sometimes, you know, people want to move on, and that's okay too.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of moving on, let's move on over to this Selena Gomez news, because Selena can't get enough of the new Selena, the series on Netflix. Selena took to her Instagram stories recently to check in with fans, and she gushed over how much she's been enjoying watching the new Selena Quintanilla series on the streaming service. Selena said this, quote, take a look.
I have been binge watching the Selena series on Netflix. It's so good. She's such an inspiration. I was named after her, and it's unbelievable. I would suggest that.
Before we move any further, can we just take a moment to realize that, like, I am twins with Selena Gomez? Thank you. Okay, now we can move on.
That was the first thing I noticed.
Okay, thank you. In case you haven't watched the show yet, fun fact, Selena apparently means goddess of the moon. So Selena Gomez is also the goddess of the moon. What did you think of what Selena had to say about the series, and are you going to watch it? Or Courtney, I know you haven't watched it yet. Does this make you want to watch it more?
Well, shout out to our lunar lady, Selena Gomez, for saying positive things about the show. I still do really want to watch it. And knowing that, you know, you said you liked it, Selena said she liked it. I am hearing pretty positive things. Girl, if you go on Facebook, it's a whole different story, but you know, that's where the locals live. So we know they're being pretty critical, but I'm interested. I just want to see how I feel about it ultimately, because, you know, it's my feelings. So I'm excited. I still want to see it. Probably this weekend,
you know,
honestly.
There's mixed feelings on the series itself. I understand why, you know, Selena is such like a precious artist, and people that are fans of Selena Quintanilla are very sensitive to having her story, you know, played out properly. And I understand all of that. but I was entertained by it. And I don't know if it's just because I love her so much that just watching anything about her life excites me, or if, you know, there is something to speak on that. But we know there's more coming because the story didn't end with season 1. And I know it's a little spoiler, but maybe it'll entice you to watch it.
Oh, no, that's fine, girl. Yeah, oh, yeah. Girl, that's gonna make me want to watch it because I feel like they're really gonna dig into the details.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, speaking of digging into the details, Taylor Swift opened up about the creative process behind her album Folklore in a recent interview. And speaking to Entertainment Weekly, Taylor spoke about how movie nights with boyfriend Joe Alwyn led her to think differently about how to make her music. This is interesting. She said, I wasn't expecting to make an album. Early on in quarantine, I started watching lots of films. We would watch a different movie every night. I'm ashamed to say I hadn't seen Pan's Labyrinth before. One night I'd watch that, then I'd watch LA Confidential, then we'd watch Rear Window, then we'd watch Jane Eyre. So she went on to talk about how the films themselves opened up a new way to create a musical narrative. So she told EW, quote, I feel like consuming other people's art and storytelling sort of opened this portal in my imagination and made me feel like, well, why have I never done this before? Why have I never created characters and intersecting storylines? And why haven't I sort of freed myself up to do that from a narrative standpoint? So, Courtney and T-Tribe, do you think that the movie nights with Joe paid off? And how do you think that these inspiration sessions work to change the sound and kind of storytelling of folklore specifically?
I definitely think that it paid off. Well, first, let me say this. I'm just glad that Taylor is back to doing interviews, Alex, because during that Reputation era, girl, we were thirsty and dried up. We were so thirsty for some sort of Taylor something. So it's nice to sort of get in her head a little bit. Definitely paid off. Folklore is like such a celebrated album. I saw this morning on Twitter, like it's on a bunch of different publications, like best album of the year, or like top 10 best greatest album of the year, whatever. And it's interesting to know that she found inspiration in the most random of places. But that's the truth though. You know, you could be on the couch and look at a wall and be like, I'm looking at the wall from this angle. It's all about perspective. So I'm glad that she tried something new. Although I know I would have enjoyed another pop record or even a little return to country, I love the storytelling. I always say that Taylor is one of the best songwriters of our generation, and I still feel that way.
Yeah, you know, I really relate to this whole story because I know when quarantine happened and life kind of slowed down, we were all consuming a lot of content. And I know many people felt demotivated. They weren't inspired. However, I actually felt the opposite when life slows down because I'm so used to being so busy is when I do get inspired because I actually have the time and the energy to consume content like Taylor did and get different ideas and see different works of art, and it motivates me to create. So I understand that, and I love hearing. It's one of my favorite questions I ask in interviews is inspiration behind songs or behind projects, because it really interests me to know where the artist's mind was when they created this piece of art. I just love it. So
I agree.
Super cool. And I'm sure Swifties love to hear that as well. But speaking of artists.
Wesley is saying that Taylor Swift needs to write a movie script. It would be one of the best scripts ever. Alex, I agree with that. If not a movie script, Taylor needs to write a musical. Oh, yeah.
Right.
A musical based on 1989, girl.
Yes.
Add a couple more songs in there with the re-recordings. Yes, Taylor. Get that bag.
Yes. All right. Well, we're moving on to our next story. And I also see Mr. Makeshift in the chat who couldn't be more perfect timing. He said, breaking news, Sweetener comes to Netflix December 21st. And that's what we're talking about. Ariana Grande sent her fans into a frenzy with a recent Twitter post. She posted yesterday. She sent out this cryptic tweet that consisted of 3 photos from her Sweetener tour. Each of the photos is in a black and white and quite artsy, which led fans to keep speculating, especially after Ariana tagged Netflix on the tweet. This led to even more speculation that there may be a Sweetener concert film or something along those lines in the works, which Mr. Makeshift has now confirmed. Netflix Twitter account didn't help when they posted, quote, "Excuse me, I love you." What do you think this all could mean? I guess we know now. And do you think that Ariana fans will be obsessed?
Alex, I just want to say that you guys, I have won again. Alex Schiffman, it happened once. Taylor Swift made a beautiful record called Reputation. It became my favorite album of hers. And then bam, Netflix said, you know what? We'll give her a movie. Then Ariana creates my favorite Ariana album, Sweetener. She said, oh, here you go, guys. You know, some of the fans don't like it. Courtney's obsessed with it. It's fine. Netflix said, give her a movie, put her on the cloud. I'm here for this. Do you understand how many times I watched that Reputation movie on Netflix? It's embarrassing. That's like my folding laundry thing. Like I turn it on and get my laundry together, girl. And now Ariana will be added to the queue, girl. It's already added to my list, and I'm not even in front of the TV yet. I am excited. Yes.
Me too. Crystal in the chat is saying, yes, I've been waiting on this. It's been rumored all year. I'm so happy it's coming this month. I agree. You know, we've had a few concert films come out that weren't necessarily exciting. This one will be. And I'm very, very interested to check it out. December 21st. Just in time for holidays, you know, a little break from work. We can sit down, really enjoy the Sweetener tour.
Girl, you gotta make a spiced cranberry cocktail, girl. That's another moment where you throw the log in the fireplace, girl. If I were in Pennsylvania, girl, I would throw a log in the fireplace, girl. Throw a little, or if you don't have a cocktail, for those of y'all that are too young, get you your warm milk and get you a little hot chocolate bomb from Trader Joe's, girl. Throw that in there, swirl her on up, sit in front of the Christmas tree, and turn on Miss Ponytail and watch her swing it to and fro. I'm ready for that, right. Alex.
That's right. A little ponytail and a little pony milk drink. With a little sweetener if it's too bitter. All right. Someone send us home. Moving on to other music. Victoria Justice is back. All right. Posting to her Instagram page, Victoria announced that she has some new music coming out this Friday. Another announcement from the Victorious cast. The song called Treat Myself is the first single that Victoria has released in 7 years. She captioned her post, quote, I made a promise to you guys and to myself that I was going to release music in 2020. My hope was to complete a full musical project and have an album or EP to release. But of course, 2020 has not exactly turned out as many of us had planned. And instead of overthinking all of this, I just thought, F it. I'm going to just put it out there. So, Courtney T-Tribe, are you excited for new music from the former Nickelodeon star and former cast mate, Ariana Grande?
Former sister girl of Ariana. Victoria Justice 7 years ago had a beautiful song out called Gold, and I loved that song, and then we didn't hear from her ever again because her and Ariana were having whatever they were having. I will give her the stream because I feel like I'm curious. Also, Victoria Justice was a customer of mine when I used to work at a smoothie cafe, and she was always very, very nice to me, no matter how like silly I was and playing with her food. So I will support Miss Justice. Do y'all care about Victoria Justice is the question. Oh, Eric already jumped in. Eric said, yes, I'm so excited. Okay, good. Mr. Makeshift said, finally she emerges. Okay, I was scared. I thought that some of the T-Tribe was going to be like, no, F Victoria Justice. We only stand Ariana. So I'm glad that at least some of y'all are excited. I like her. She's nice. And she treats customer service representatives with respect. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. You know, I also interviewed Victoria before, probably 7 years ago, maybe less than that, when she released her first song. It was kind of like, it was past Victoria's days, and she was coming out as a musical artist now. And you know, she's very talented. She's a great singer, and I think that she deserves success as well. So I'm interested, like you, to hear her sound and kind of what she releases, but good for her.
Yeah. Wesley said Miranda Cosgrove could release some new music too. And I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, Wesley, but Miranda Cosgrove, don't let iCarly fool you, because Miranda Cosgrove had bops.
Right.
Kesha even wrote a few of them. So Miranda, what you doing? You in college or something, girl? Because you need to get that degree and give us an EP. You know I'm always begging for an EP, Alex.
From Courtney. Miranda Cosgrove. Yeah. Courtney says, get to work. Get to work, Courtney. Chance the Rapper is finally going mainstream with one of his favorite projects. He announced earlier this week that he has an album coming out with his best friend, Jeremiah. The album, Merry Christmas Little Mama Deluxe, comes out this Friday, December 11th, and will feature new tracks and previously released mixtape songs that Chance and him had been putting out years earlier. So Chance also went on to The Ellen Show to discuss his latest project. He told Ellen about how excited he was to finally be able to put this project out with his bestie. He said, quote, every year, me and Jeremiah, who's one of my best friends, another Chicago artist, we would make these Christmas mixtapes and release them on the mixtape circuit. And so now they're finally out there for everybody on their Apple Music and their Tidals and Amazons and all those spaces. This news comes after Jeremiah just got out of the hospital after a serious COVID scare earlier in November. Pretty scary. Luckily, he seems to be recovering fine. So good news. Courtney, what do you think of this new Christmas album from Chance?
I'm excited for this. Y'all know I'm not like a huge Christmas music kind of person, but I feel like Chance the Rapper is very creative, and he's gonna give us that work. And also, Alex, do y'all, T-Tribe specifically, do y'all remember Jeremiah? Y'all better remember Jeremiah. He came out with that song, Birthday Sex, like 10 years ago. It's your birthday, so you know I want to ride out. That's Jeremiah. He caught COVID, y'all. I was worried. I didn't want to bring the sadness to the show, but I was worried about Jeremiah, so I'm glad that he pulled through, and we can get this music on top of that. So I'm excited, Alex. It's going to be good.
First of all, didn't know he sang that song, so now I'm even more excited to hear this Christmas album. Yeah, I'm just interested to, again, hear the sound, kind of see what it's all about, because I love that, you know, rappers in general, starting with Lil Nas X, this year, they're coming out with Christmas albums. This is something new, and I love to see it.
This is something that y'all are not going to want to miss, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna play that out.
Okay, well, something else you're not gonna want to miss is our Car Jenner tea time. So, Courtney, let us in those gates. Beep, beep. We got a lot to talk about today.
If you guys are all set for all of the tea from behind the Car Jenner gates, be sure to turn your volumes down for Car Jenner tea time. Hello to everyone in my studio, which is no one, just me.
Yes. Okay. Well, we're starting off Car Jenner tea time with Kim Kardashian, the lawyer, who is continuing to try and make a mark in the justice system. So Kim posted to her Twitter account earlier this week about the new LA district attorney and the hope that she has for the change that he will bring. Kim wrote this, quote, Los Angeles County is the largest jail system in the country, and it's home to the largest jurisdiction in the state. These changes out of the DA's office are the change we've been waiting for, and I hope they have a ripple effect across the country. She also posted the same thing to her Instagram account, which caught the eye of the DA himself, George Gascon. So the DA reposted this quote to his own story and told Kim that he was ready to work with her on bettering the prison system in LA. Do you think that this will be a mutually beneficial relationship, Courtney and T-Tribe, and Kim can start making some headway as a serious lawyer?
I think that I'm sure it's a beneficial thing for the both of them. Kim gets to have sort of that recognition that she's really seeking to sort of supplement and pad her career. And the DA gets Kara Jenner clout? Question mark. My thing is this. I really have been thinking about this in terms of Kim being in the legal system, and my feeling as of today, because feelings can always change, is there are a lot of people of color in the prison system, and if Kim is doing her part, however big or small, to help release those that may be innocent, then I can be on board with that, Alex. To be honest,
Right.
I can be on board with that today.
Yeah.
Now she might
You
do
know-
something next week, and I say off with her head. You never know, Alex. You got to wait for that report. But today I'm with it.
Yeah, you know, the district attorney is new and he knows what he's doing, you know, capitalizing on Kim K's platform. It can only bring light to any, you know, awareness he's seeking for any of his policies and all of that. So I think it, yeah, definitely is mutually beneficial. Kim is obviously very invested in prison reform and being involved in the system. So I think this is great. And it's so interesting to kind of see that crossover of influencers and people on social media with like the justice system. Like whenever in our life have we seen that crossover so much as we see now, you know?
Girl, we haven't seen it. It's very much giving us real life Elle Woods. So I mean, if Reese can inspire a generation, then Reese. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, only 10 seconds, but we don't give Reese enough. Reese been doing it, and I haven't seen enough Reese Witherspoon movies. I haven't seen every last one of them, Sweet Home Alabama and all that. I haven't seen them all, girl. But from what I've seen of Miss Reese throughout the years, Reese brings it every single time, y'all. Big Little Lies, this is the promo moment. Big Little Lies, y'all, if y'all haven't seen it, y'all need to give that several views. I know Wesley will agree. So, yeah, do that. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah. Let's bend and slap on over to this next story. A lot of questions online. She's taking the time to answer. After one fan asked her, do you ever watch Keeping Up with the Kardashian episodes? I would love to watch back to some old episodes. Khloe responded in a very honest way. Khloe tweeted back at the fan, quote, sometimes I watch for sure. Our old voices crack me up every time. I have no idea what happened to those voices. Only thing I'm not proud of is how I used to talk to my mom. Obviously, we had some teenage issues we had to work through. On camera, it's tough to go through that stuff publicly. So the Kardashians were notorious at the beginning of the series for this kind of disrespect that they showed toward their mom, Kris, whether it be through teenage angst or whatever. Kourtney and T-Tribe, what do you think of this kind of introspective moment from Khloe regarding, you know, old Keeping Up with the Kardashian episodes in the past?
Honestly, Alex and T-Tribe, it really made me feel good to hear Khloe talk about this, because it was one of the things that really turns me off from the show when I first started to watch it from the beginning was how they spoke to their parents. I like can't get on board with that. I've literally almost ended a friendship as like a teenager because I couldn't stand how like my best friend was speaking to her mom. Like we spoke about this on the phone like yesterday. So hey girl. But I can't get on board with it. You gotta respect your parents, if especially if they're showing you that same respect and they brought you into this world. They certainly can take you out of it. So I'm glad that she is also able to look back and be like, I have it all, literally it all. But wow, I really don't like how I looked to me. And that wasn't right. Imagine how Khloe feels looking at Kris, her older mother, even older than she was then, and then going and looking at that footage and then looking back at her mom, who's even older, being like, damn, I shouldn't have said those things. I shouldn't have thrown her phone, or I shouldn't have, told her to shut the F up. Like I would never. Like I told you earlier today, like my parents literally I don't even swear around my parents. So it's like, I couldn't get on board with it, but I'm happy that Khloe has matured and can look back.
Yeah, I think this is, very honest, and I can understand her kind of reflecting and thinking about that. Because if you think about teenage days, I know, just to your point, I had a similar relationship with my parents, but I know that other teenagers had their teenage moments. And if that was all on camera, I know a lot of people would regret that part of their lives. I mean, you're still growing up, you're still learning how to be a respectful human, and that's why teenagers get that kind of stereotype, you know, they act out. Yeah. And so I love that she kind of brought that attention. I also want to talk about their old voices, because they've all kind of spoke about this. Kim has as well. They used to speak in these different voices. Like Kim said,
I call it their Paris Hilton voices.
Yes, they had their Paris Hilton voices. I know that there was a lot of just life issues that they went through. I know Chloe has been open about, you know, Chris showing Kim favoritism, and I'm sure that was part of the kind of anxiety and pressure that we saw on camera. So all in all, it wasn't right. No one should speak to their mother that way, and I love that she came out and said this, because it's important.
It is very important. And I'm still thinking about them voices, Alex, because you watch an episode of Keeping Up, first episode, and then you go and you watch something from the recent season, and you're like, who are these people? Hi, I'm Kim. I'm the spoiled one. Like, it's like, girl, whose voice is that? Because I don't know that lady. That ain't Kanye's wife.
Exactly. All right, so let's move on to our OMT story of the day. We're talking about Miss Olivia Jade and Sofia Richie coming to her defense. So Olivia Jade's Red Table Talk appearance has been the talk of the town recently, and she's getting both hate and support from around the internet. One supporter is Sofia Richie, who responded to Olivia's post about the interview. Olivia posted a clip from the show where she discussed how she isn't trying to victimize herself and that she understands that what her family did was wrong. Honestly, Olivia has been trying to be rather adult about the whole situation. Sofia noticed this and posted a response to the clip saying, quote, "Yes, girl," with the heart eye emojis. "Can't wait for what's ahead." Not everyone felt the same way, however, with one person commenting on Sofia's response with, quote, "White privilege supporting white privilege." Sofia decided to take the high road and commented back, quote, "We are all human who make human mistakes. Life is too short to wish negativity on anyone, sending you love." So Courtney and T-Tribe, what do you make of this whole situation? Olivia's interview on Red Table Talk, the hate she's receiving, and then also Sofia weighing in on everything.
I want to be honest, Alex. I was very excited to watch the Red Table Talk, and y'all know I love Jada, Pinkett, Gammy, Willow, Will, the whole family. Live for them. But I couldn't help when I turned it on feeling like what the grandmother said was very, very, very important. She said something to the effect, Alex, of just the fact that Olivia Jade was able to come to the Red Table Talk was like the epitome of white privilege. And how true is that? You sort of go on a platform where it's a safe space for all, but especially for Black celebrities to sort of explain your wealth, your family. Let me not blame it on her. Her family's issue with wealth and white superiority, and there's a lot of things at play there. But girl, that's a deep dive for another day. I'm glad that Sofia stuck up for her friend. I want to ask you guys, is there a show in this post-pandemic? Sofia, Olivia Jade, those kind of girls. Is there a show? Do we see a producer approaching them sort of like a, hey, you were involved with, you know, sort of this A-list kind of moment. Your mom was an A-list and then this happened. There's story there, and I wonder if producers are seeing what I'm seeing and will offer them the chance to tell their stories in a docuseries kind of way. Do you see that happening, Alex?
I do and I don't. I hear what you're saying. There's definitely a story here that people are interested in and want to know. However, it's not a good story. You know what I mean? It's a story that people are criticizing. And so I don't think they would give a platform to this family that's already doing things we're criticizing them about, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like the Kardashians in general, when they first started, it was for entertainment, you know, and to provide, like, as the years went by, things happened, but I don't necessarily see a show out of it. But what I will say is that I do think that Sofia has been through very public breakups, scandals, knows how hard it can be being in the spotlight, whether you did wrong or right, and just having that amount of criticism and hate being thrown at you through social media and everything else. So I think it's big of her to kind of be her one supporter. I know I'm exaggerating a bit, but to stand up for her when no one else is. So I think that's kind of cool of her. I respect that. Not that I'm saying it's right for her defending her, but also, like, people do make mistakes, and I do think people deserve second chances and learn to grow and educate themselves and be better. And so I thought that was kind of cool of Sofia to just stand up for her in that way.
Alex, do you think that Olivia will, by doing this, and I'm sure we got at least 3 more, I predict something like redemption arc thing she's trying to put in place. Do you think that we'll ever see Olivia Jade, the beauty influencer, again? Because right now we know her, or at least the audience, we've been telling them basically that she's kind of like Lil Niece. She's like Aunt Becky's kid. We don't really know her as the beauty influencer that she was. Do you think that she'll ever be in a Sephora again? Or Ulta, you know, Morphe, what have you? Do you think she'll get back up there? Because I think that she will.
I think a time will only tell. Life does crazy things. This world accepts crazy things. And I don't think anytime soon. And I do think that I've seen weirder things happen. So I could definitely see that in the future. And I see you guys in the chat that are upset that Sofia kind of chimed in. Julesy says, no, do not stand up for people who stole something so big from someone else. And I agree. I'm not necessarily agreeing that she stood up for her, but I also can respect the fact that she came for her when no one else did.
Alex, there's a million platforms out there that Sofia could have called to tell her story. She could have, not saying that we're huge or the number one, but she could have did TMZ. She could have done any of these talks. Why do you think that she chose Red Table Talk? Do you think maybe it was because she saw Jordan do it and that kind of helped extinguish some of the flames? Because I don't think that Olivia Jade woke up on her own and, you know, called a manager and said, on Table Talk. Because she got in contact with them. They didn't call her. So I'm like, whose idea was that?
I think Olivia has a pretty good crisis PR team around her right now. And they were like, Red Table Talk, 100%. And I do think that Jordan Woods' episode influenced Olivia kind of going on there as well. I think Red Table Talk has become this kind of like safe place, so to speak, where they ask the hard questions, but they ask them respectfully. And I think Olivia and her team must have thought it was a good move.
Ebony is saying she wanted the Black community sympathy. And Ebony, I didn't think about that, but you're actually absolutely right in my opinion. Because I feel like I'm speaking from, to reiterate, I feel like mostly Black people were upset because a lot of us, not saying we're the only ones that do, but a lot of us never get the opportunity to go to college at all. There are some people in general and Black people that have one person that goes to college, or like this year is like the first year that they can afford to go. So like the fact that someone with so much money can just buy their way in was considered to be disrespectful. And maybe by going on Red Table Talk and explaining herself and giving us her truth, she might have been able to get some sympathy. Do y'all think it worked? Do y'all feel for her?
As I said yesterday, you know, I don't take this very genuine. And I, you know, graduating from USC and like I mentioned before, you know, I worked very hard to get into that school. And so it really upsets me and irks me the wrong way. And to Evelyn's point in the chat, she's saying, how isn't Olivia taking any blame because she took the fake pictures on the rowboat? Like, she was an accomplice in this, in this whole scandal. So she should, you know, take blame and accountability. And like you said, it just feels stunty.
Time will tell, though, Alex. We'll see.
Yeah.
Her actions, though, whether it was genuine or not. And I'm very curious to see who will be running to the bowl to eat it up and who will ignore and go back for a nap.
Yeah. I think I just can't get over the part about that I don't want to go to college. That whole thing. Like, I just can't get over that line. Do you know what I mean? I just can't come back.
And you cut back to all them nights, Alex. You was probably in your dorm or wherever you were writing them papers, girl. You was sweating, girl, trying to meet the deadline. You said, I'm going to make it. And meanwhile, Olivia is twerking on a yacht, girl. Twerking on a yacht on spring break. Champagne glass in the air, girl. Spring break. That phone rang, girl. And they said, girl, you talked to your mom today? She said, no. And I felt really uneasy, and I felt like, let me just Google my mom, and it was everywhere. Girl, spring break was over, sis. It was over. Yeah. Wake that up.
Exactly.
Ain't that something, y'all?
All right. Well, on that note, that's all the tea we had to spill today. Thanks again for joining us on today's episode. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, to spill some more tea for you. And if you're new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments below. We love to hear them and read them. And Courtney, if they want more of you, where can they find you after the show?
If you want more of me after the tea, you can find me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And I have my own podcast as well as my own individual YouTube channel. Just type in Courtney Revolution up top. It all comes up. Where can they find you, Schiffman?
You can find me on all social media platforms at Alex Schiffman, just like my name right here. And Courtney, take it away. It's time to wash our hands, and we'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.
Ooh, let me back up, right, girl? That's why I don't drive. Hang on, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And now it's time to wash your hands, Leo. You better wash your hands. It's in the man. Wash your hands. Scrub your hands. It's in the man. Scrub your hands. It's in. Hey, just wash your hands, Miss Ma'am. Just